Organization, non-core roles. In Scrum, aside from the core roles, Product Owner, Scrum Master, and Scrum Team, there are several non-core roles that support the Scrum project, but are not directly responsible for deliverables. 1. Stakeholders. Stakeholders are individuals or organizations who are affected by the project or can influence its outcome. They include customers, users, sponsors, and other business representatives. They provide feedback, help refine the product backlog, and expect transparency and communication throughout the project. Second Scrum Guidance Body. This is an advisory group that provides guidelines, standards, and best practices for all Scrum projects within the organization. They do not interfere in day-to-day project work, but provide support on compliance, quality, and process alignment. Third-party vendors are external parties or third-party service providers who supply products or services used in the project. They may contribute tools, components, infrastructure, or expertise needed by the Scrum team. While they are not part of the Scrum team, their timely delivery and collaboration can directly affect the project outcome. Key stakeholders are a critical support group in any Scrum project. They include customers, users, and sponsors, basically anyone who is directly impacted by the outcome of the project. These stakeholders frequently interact with the Scrum core team. Their inputs are essential for shaping the product or service under development. They help clarify requirements, give feedback, and often participate in sprint reviews to inspect progress. Stakeholders continue to influence the project throughout its life cycle, helping the team stay aligned with business goals and customer needs. Ultimately, the main reason a Scrum project exists is to deliver value to these stakeholders. Their satisfaction is the true measure of success. In addition to the core Scrum roles, Scrum Master, Product Owner, and Scrum Team, there are several non-core roles that play a vital part in the project. These are usually referred to as key stakeholders and include 1. Customers. They are the individuals or organizations who receive the final product or benefit from the project outcome. 2. Users. These are the actual end users of the product. They help provide feedback and shape the requirements. 3. Sponsor. This is the person or group that provides funding and high-level support for the project. Even though these roles are not involved in day-to-day Scrum activities, their input is crucial to the project's success. Now let's talk about two specific types of stakeholders: customers and users. First, the customer. A customer is the individual or organization that pays for or acquires the product, service, or result of the project. Customers may be internal, such as a department within the same company, or external, like a client or buyer from outside the organization. Next, the user. Users are the ones who will actually use the product or service created by the project. They can also be internal or external, depending on who will interact with the final outcome. In some industries, like software or mobile apps, the customer and user may be the same person or entity. Understanding this distinction is crucial because the needs of customers and users can be different, and Scrum teams must address both. Let's now understand the role of the sponsor as a key stakeholder in Scrum projects. Sometimes, a single person or organization may play multiple stakeholder roles. For example, the sponsor and customer can be the same entity, especially in small or internal projects. Now, who is the sponsor? The sponsor is the individual or organization that provides the funding, resources, and overall support for the project. They are usually someone in a position of authority and are responsible for approving budgets, providing strategic guidance, and removing high-level roadblocks. Importantly, the sponsor is the main person to whom the entire project team is ultimately accountable. So, regular communication and alignment with the sponsor are critical for project success. Let's now talk about vendors, one of the non-core roles in a Scrum environment. Vendors refer to external individuals or organizations that provide products or services to the Scrum project team. These are usually items or expertise that the internal team does not specialize in or are outside the core competencies of the project team. For example, if a software development team needs specific security testing tools or UI/UX design expertise that they don't have in-house, they may bring in a vendor to handle that part. While vendors are not directly involved in Scrum events or decision-making, their timely delivery and quality of work can significantly impact the success of the project. So, coordination with vendors is crucial and must be managed carefully, often by the product owner or project manager. Let's now understand the role of the Scrum Guidance Body, or SGB. This is an optional non-core role, but it's highly recommended, especially for organizations that are implementing Scrum across multiple teams or departments. The SGB usually consists of a group of experts and/or a collection of documents that define standards related to quality, compliance with government regulations, security, and other key organizational guidelines. Its primary goal is to establish best practices and maintain consistency across all Scrum projects in the organization. Think of it as a reference body, not a decision-making authority. That means the SGB does not interfere with the project team's daily operations or decisions. However, their guidance can help teams align with organizational values and follow standardized procedures, which can improve efficiency and reduce risks. Let's discuss the Scrum Guidance Body, also known as SGB. Although it's a non-core and optional role, it is highly recommended for organizations that want to maintain standard practices across multiple projects. The SGB serves as a consulting or advisory body and operates across all levels of the project hierarchy: portfolio, program, and project. It's not involved in daily decision-making, but instead acts as a resource for teams that need help aligning with organizational standards and goals. Scrum teams can reach out to the SGB for guidance on areas like quality, compliance, security, and best practices whenever needed. This helps in promoting consistency, knowledge sharing, and standardization across the organization. But remember, the Scrum Guidance Body does not make project-level decisions. It only provides advice and direction when consulted. This is an important question that often comes up in real-world Scrum implementations. Ideally, a Scrum Master should be dedicated to a single team to ensure proper facilitation, coaching, and the removal of impediments. However, in practical scenarios, especially in smaller organizations or teams with overlapping responsibilities, a Scrum Master may be assigned to more than one project. But we should remember that spreading too thin can reduce the effectiveness of the Scrum Master. They might struggle to maintain team focus, protect teams from external interference, and uphold Scrum principles in each project. So, while it's possible, it's not recommended if the projects are large or complex. Before any project begins, it's crucial for the organization to carry out a thorough business assessment. This helps decision-makers understand whether the proposed change or new product is really needed, whether it's worth the investment, and whether it's viable in the long run. The key focus here is on value. Scrum emphasizes value-driven delivery. That means, rather than waiting until the end of the project, Scrum delivers value early and continuously. By doing this, organizations can validate their direction, get quicker returns, and make adjustments where necessary, leading to better product-market fit and reduced waste. In Scrum, business justification revolves around the principle of value-driven delivery. Every project has some level of uncertainty, whether it's about the outcome, customer acceptance, or technical feasibility. No matter how well we plan, we cannot guarantee success just by reaching the end of a project. That's why Scrum focuses on delivering results early and frequently. Instead of waiting until the end, we start delivering working increments as soon as possible. This approach reduces risk, provides early feedback, and validates business value continuously, increasing the chances of project success. In Scrum, business justification is based on the idea of value-driven delivery. Since every project carries uncertainty, be it in results, stakeholder expectations, or feasibility, it's risky to wait until the end to realize value. Scrum addresses this by delivering results early and continuously throughout the project. This early delivery of results brings real value early in the process, allowing the organization to gain quick feedback, reduce risks, and adapt as needed. An important benefit is that this early value delivery provides an opportunity for reinvestment into the project and demonstrates the project's worth to stakeholders, keeping their confidence and support strong. To truly implement value-driven delivery in Scrum, certain practices are critical. First, it's essential to understand what adds value for both customers and users. Only then can we ensure that the most important and high-impact features are given top priority in the prioritized product backlog. Second, Scrum teams should aim to reduce uncertainty by addressing risks early and continuously. This proactive risk management helps in protecting the expected value of the project. Lastly, frequent engagement with stakeholders is key. By showing them working product increments at the end of every sprint, we not only build trust, but also enable quick feedback and change management, ensuring the final product stays aligned with evolving expectations. In Scrum, the idea is to deliver value early and continuously. This is done by creating deliverables based on priorities, as defined in the prioritized product backlog. During each sprint, the team works on potentially shippable product increments, which are usable and demonstrable. These increments reflect the highest priority requirements, ensuring that customers start experiencing real value even in the early stages of the project. This approach not only builds customer confidence, but also allows for quick adaptation and better decision-making throughout the project lifecycle. This figure compares how Scrum and traditional project management approaches deliver value. In Scrum, 1. Requirements are prioritized based on business value to customers and users. Second, risks and changes are continuously managed by allowing stakeholders to reprioritize requirements after each sprint. Third, value is realized early and continuously through shippable product increments delivered at the end of every sprint. In traditional projects, 1. There is no prioritization based on business value. Requirements are often fixed at the start. 2. The project scope and requirements remain unchanged, and change is generally discouraged. Third, value is only realized at the end of the project, with no intermediate or incremental outputs. This contrast highlights why Scrum is more flexible and value-focused, especially in dynamic environments. In Scrum, business justification is not a one-time activity. It begins before project initiation and continues throughout the project lifecycle. This ensures that the project always aligns with delivering maximum value. Here are the 3 key steps for determining business justification. 1. Assess and present a business case. Before starting the project, a business case is developed to outline the need, benefits, costs, and risks. This helps decision-makers evaluate whether the project is worth investing in. 2. Continuous value. Justification. Even after the project starts, Scrum emphasizes continuous evaluation. At the end of every sprint, the team reassesses whether the project is still delivering value and if any changes are required to stay aligned with the business goals. 3. Confirm benefits realization. Once the deliverables are released and used, the benefits should be measured to confirm that the expected value is actually being realized. This step validates that the business objectives were met. This question tests your understanding of business justification in Scrum. In Scrum, continuous business justification is a core principle. If, at any point, like after spending 50% of the project budget, an assessment shows that the project no longer has a valid business justification, then the project should be terminated immediately, regardless of how much effort or cost has already been spent. Why? Because Scrum emphasizes value-driven delivery. If no more value is expected, then continuing the project wastes time and resources. It's better to stop and reallocate the remaining budget and resources to more valuable initiatives. In Scrum, quality is not an afterthought, it is embedded into every stage of the process. Quality is defined as the ability of the final product or deliverables to meet the acceptance criteria. These are the specific objective points used to judge whether a user story's functionality is acceptable or not. Achieving high quality also means ensuring that the expected business value is delivered to the customer. This alignment of technical performance with customer value is what makes Scrum a value-focused framework. Scrum approaches quality through a mindset of continuous improvement. Instead of treating quality as a one-time check, Scrum teams actively learn from experience and stakeholder feedback throughout the project. This learning is used to regularly update the prioritized product backlog with any new or changed requirements. Since the environment and business needs evolve, the product backlog is considered a living document. It's never really complete until the project ends or is terminated. This flexible and adaptive approach helps ensure that the project always aligns with what the customer actually needs. Maintaining quality from both technical and business perspectives. In Scrum, since the work is completed in small, manageable increments during each sprint, defects and errors are identified early, not at the end when it's often too late or costly to fix. This early detection is made possible by repetitive testing and validation built into every sprint cycle. Another key point is that all critical quality-related activities, like development, testing, and documentation, are done by the same team within the same sprint. This means that any deliverable marked as done already meets the required quality standards, as quality is built into the product from the start, not added at the end. An essential part of ensuring quality in Scrum is the constant collaboration between the Scrum core team and stakeholders. At the end of every sprint, a working product increment is delivered, which becomes a tangible point of discussion and feedback. This frequent feedback loop helps align deliverables with customer expectations. The closer this collaboration, the smaller the gap between what the customer wants and what is actually being delivered. Over time, this leads to higher satisfaction, fewer surprises, and a product that meets business value more precisely. The PDCA cycle, Plan, Do, Check, Act, is a continuous improvement framework, and Scrum closely aligns with it. Plan. In Scrum, planning starts with creating the prioritized product backlog and writing user stories that clearly reflect customer needs. Do. The team creates deliverables during the sprint and holds daily stand-ups to monitor progress and remove impediments. Check, or Study. At the end of the sprint, the team demonstrates and validates the sprint outcome during the sprint review, followed by the retrospect sprint to study what went well and what didn't. Act. Based on insights from retrospectives, the team acts by implementing improvements and then ships deliverables that meet expectations. This cycle ensures that quality is continuously built into the product instead of being inspected in at the end. In this slide, we're asked to distinguish between scope and quality. Scope defines what needs to be delivered in a project. It includes features, functions, tasks, and boundaries. It answers the question, what are we building? Quality, on the other hand, focuses on how well the work is done. It ensures that the deliverables meet the defined standards and fulfill customer expectations. So, delivering all the scope, but with poor workmanship, means the quality is lacking. In Scrum, both are balanced through continuous collaboration and frequent feedback to make sure we build the right thing and we build it right.